Okay. And this may be a little bit different group today because before I finished the last couple pages of reading, I found out that our friend Rand Cooper passed away. And so I'm having a hard time concentrating on anything right now, but I wanted to come together because I know so many of you may remember Rand from this group. Um,
From your group, Linda, from the Tuesday morning?
yes, he would join us until he got moved to an assisted living facility. Then he would join occasionally when he could, but it was challenging. Jeez Louise, somebody's trying to call me. Okay. Can't call me now because and it's getting announced on my speaker. Ping, ping, ping. Too many squirrels in the room. Anyway, yeah, he would join us until he moved to the assisted living facility when it would be challenging for him because nurses and aides and stuff would walk in, you know. Anyways,
Yeah, Linda, that's funny because yesterday I went on his Facebook page because he hadn't commented for a couple of weeks.
yeah.
His last post was February 20th, something like that.
Yeah, I knew about a week or so ago that he was in process of transition.
Hospice, yeah.
And yeah, I was just hoping that Carla would join because Carla and Rand and I joined Masterful Living at the same time.
Wow.
And so and he was in Finding Freedom with me before that.
Yeah.
He was not leading?
He was in Finding Freedom before that. So I'm just feeling like, having lost somebody from this world that was so beautiful and sweet.
Maybe if somebody or does Carla would get, maybe she'd get something, I don't do Facebook, but that she would know, or maybe we could send her.
Oh, she knows. She knows.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I messaged her already today.
Oh,
anyway.
all right. Okay.
So I'm just saying that, it's going to be a little weird today because I'm distracted from just having heard this news about 45 minutes ago. So
Linda, how did you hear? Is there like an announcement somewhere?
Well, because Rand was in my Ascension Pathway class.
Oh.
We have a text group for Ascension Pathway, and our friend and classmate Lisa Johnson, who has had her own physical challenges.
Yes, I remember Lisa.
They were very close.
Yep.
So she was the one that made the announcement in our group to let us know.
Right.
So
right.
I'm going to say a prayer and we're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. If that's okay with y'all. There's my Carla.
Yeah, there she is.
So yeah, so we're holding space for Rand today, and I'm going to say a prayer, and we're going to, whatever unfolds organically is what unfolds, and I hope everybody is okay with that.
Yep.
So
yep.
Placing my hands on my heart, taking that breath of love and gratitude. So grateful to come together, to hold space for each other, to be the two or more gathered in the name and the nature of love. Grateful for our willingness to be here to hold space for each other. Grateful for knowing that our sweet and precious friend Rand is no longer in pain in his physical body, but has transcended that and is now working on the other side with us, for us, with all forms of heavenly assistance, free, and can just see him just running and dancing, and just grateful for that. Grateful for all of the insights and the inspiration that he brought into this world and that will continue to expand on through his divine inspiration. Grateful for our willingness to be open and receptive to the all good of God. Grateful to share every precious memory, moment, smile, all of the joy that Rand was, and all of the joy that we are in his oneness with Mother Earth and all her beings, because we're one. In grace and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
May I ask something, Linda? I've only heard him 2 or 3 times since I've been in this, and I don't really know a lot about him, because if it would be appropriate, or if we'd like to share some things about him. So, I mean, it's like I know him, but I don't really know him, but I mean.
Yeah. Well, what I can say was he was a very gentle soul, and he was a brilliant alternative medicine physician. And his willingness and capacity to hold space for others when he was going through so many challenges of his own was amazing. And
Can I say something?
yes, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
I'll say this. I don't know how long it's been now, 5, 8 years ago. He lived in Oregon, which is the state I lived in. And he said, "Oh, we should talk sometime. We should talk." And I said, not really interested. And I was, where I was. And then at one point, I said to him, we had a call. I said, "You know what? I can commit to this, Rand. For 30 days, let's talk every day." And that lasted 2.5 years.
No.
2.5 years. So I'll say this. In appearance, Rand had his ups and downs and whatever life experiences, pain, discomfort often in the body, but he was committed. He never ended his commitment for not seeking, but realizing peace and living peace. That's what I want to say.
Carla. Kamira. Amira, are you there, honey? Your
Yeah, I'm
hand.
here. I'm
Oh,
just
there you
trying to find a way to
go.
unmute. Sorry. Hi,
That's okay.
everybody. Yeah, I just wanted to share a memory that I had with
Oh,
Rand.
yes, please.
It was, maybe, I don't know, a year or so after my ex and I were no longer together. I was in a lot of pain. It was a 9 p.m. Prayer line that I called. And he come on too, but he was waiting for the person to show up, and the person that was supposed to run it didn't come. And he heard me crying, and he literally did not only a prayer with me, but for 45 minutes thereafter spoke to me about my situation and just held space for me. And I had no idea what he was going through till later. Melita told me what was going on with him. And I just, he was an incredible soul and always wanting to give. And, and honestly, talking to him, you would have never known he was in so much pain and was going through so much himself. I will always love him for that, because he helped me so much that evening, just shifting my perception of the whole situation. So just wanted to share that. I had that loving memory of him.
Oh, thank you, Humira. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I have a wonderful memory of him sending his cat videos, and I guess it was through Facebook. I don't know, but he loved cats for a long time. His screensaver thing was a cat. And so, and I've always, we in our whole marriage, we've always had cats as well as other pets, but cats pretty consistently cats. So that will be a memory that I will hold for him, because he just had this wacky sense of humor, and these cats would be all kinds of doing these weird things, and you wouldn't, and sometimes I'd think, is that a real cat doing you know what I mean? Because I didn't know, and more than likely they were the GIF, whatever that means. But I mean, for the longest time, he would just send them. And I just look forward to reading the next one or looking at the next one. And so that's going to be a memory that I hold for him for a long time, and just smile when I do think about it, because that was his wacky sense of humor. He loved all that stuff, along with he did a lot of political opinions and stuff like that, some of which I, entertained, and others I just didn't, but because of, well, I don't know, I don't even remember a lot of it, but he was very much into that as well. But the cats will always be a memory for me from Rand. And I see a few of you smiling. Yeah, it was fun. He just created that fun. Yeah.
Yeah, he loved his cat Milkshake. Loved Milkshake. Yeah. I love cat videos. They make me smile too. So I always enjoyed looking at them too when he posted.
It's interesting that I remember him telling me something one time, and it was like, I think it was when I was going through chemo or something like that. I was kind of down or something. And I just remember him. All I can remember, I don't remember the words either, but just remember the feeling, or the feeling, not the attitude, but the essence of who he was. I can get that from all of you. That's what I'm getting from all of you, kind of like, that's what that's I guess that's what he left, or what he is or was or still is. And that's what I'm getting from listening to all of you. So I could feel like I kind of know him like that. It's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy Gail. Anybody else have a memory of Rand they'd like to share? Talk about anything today?
Well, just coming into this today, I didn't know Rand had passed, so I knew it was imminent, but I just hadn't heard. And I've been in this program a long time, so I've had Rand in study groups and the mastery circles, and he's a pretty faithful, person coming into prayer rooms at 9 at night. So I often got to pray with him. And I think what was so amazing to me was knowing the seriousness of, what his body was doing, to him. that this man could show up in these classrooms, in these rooms, in these prayer rooms. And I mean, he would ask for what he needed, but to be present
Yeah.
to everyone. Pretty amazing journey. I mean, what I don't know, what a wonderful symbol, I guess. And I just went back to look because I had tried to send him text messages every now and then with a prayer. And the last one I'd sent was on February 14th. So, I'm just, I'm glad I did those because I know he appreciated every single word that people spoke to him in prayer or whatever. He was just open to, I mean, how many of us could show up like that when we're in the situation we're in? He was a pretty good, and I know he led a pretty crazy life. I mean, he had some ups and downs, like we all do. I mean, we're perfect in our imperfectness, and he was that. And he didn't fail to admit that at all times. But he became quite humble as he made this journey. So I'm yeah, it makes me teary to realize he's
Yeah.
no longer with us because he was just a really good prayer partner to many people. And, so thank you for doing this today, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. Grace.
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, that's when I met him as well, Kathy, not only at the 9 o'clock prayer time, but then our meditation group, which was somewhere around that time. And he was in that. And so he was in bed for a long time. That's where he called in from lying down. And he was in a nursing facility where a lot of the people, the patients there were a lot older than him, right? And a lot more infirm. And so he was also dealing with loneliness as well, of being the nurses being his main friends, apart from a couple of people that he did actually have physical contact with occasionally. And so I just always felt that must be so hard to be in that situation, not in your own home, dependent on the nurses for everything. And yet he did it. He did it. I think he knew what it was for and always tried to use that situation on a spiritual level. Yeah, so I'm sad. I had a feeling something was going on because he went into hospice about a month ago, right? And then when I checked on Facebook, I actually just looked again. February the 14th was his last post. So yeah, but he's a spirit. The body was just his way of communicating with us, and he communicated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember him excuse me, talking about making friends with the nurses and the aides that would assist him throughout the day, and how it was so hard because occasionally one of them would like leave, whether they left on their own or they got fired or whatever happened, and he would know nothing about it. And of course nobody could tell him because of privacy acts and stuff like that. But so he challenge that was a bit of a challenge for him sometimes. But yeah, he made the most of his time no matter what was happening. And yeah, I'm grateful for his example of that. Yeah. So I'm thinking that I will probably post the link to this recording on his Facebook page so his family and friends can see it, because he touched so many of our lives, and even just the essence of him was brilliant.
That would be great, Linda, because there's nothing on his Facebook page yet.
Yeah.
So do you
that
want to
would be
stop it
fabulous.
now and start recording again, sort of thing, or what?
No, no, they can hear the whole thing. They can watch as little or as much as they want. I could pause the recording, Carla, if you wanted to share something that you didn't want recorded. I'm happy to do that. You're still unmuted.
Oh, I was thinking about me. I was thinking about every share. So, you know, if anybody else was comfortable, I was just
Yeah,
bringing
if
up
anybody has a problem with that, you know, please let me know. But our recordings are public, so anybody can listen to them at any time. But I think I get maybe 3 to 6 people each week that, and they're I can see who's watching. It's all people that have been in the group, you know, Derwin and other people that have been in the group that don't get to show up often. So,
Oh, you mean 3 to 6 people who watch it later? You mean?
yeah,
Oh, I see. You can see that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm glad Derwin's still checking in with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear from him on occasion. Absolutely.
You know, that being said, if you guys are okay, I keep a book around me that's called How to Live When a Loved One Dies. And it's from Thich Nhat Hanh. And there's a beautiful thing about clouds. And I'll just read this into our post. It says, on a beautiful sunny day, you may look up into the sky and see a nice puffy cloud floating by. You admire its shape, the way the light falls upon its many folds, and the shadow it casts on the green field. You fall in love with this cloud. You want it to stay with you and keep you happy. But then its shape and color start to change. The sky becomes dark and it begins to rain. The cloud is no longer apparent to you. It has become rain. You begin to cry for the return of your beloved cloud. But when the cloud transforms itself into rain, you can look deeply into the rain and see that your cloud is still there, laughing and smiling at you. That's one I just love when it just reminds us Rand is present.
Always.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where I could find them? Because I would like to do that for my neighbor that just passed her daughter. I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
Is it a book something that I could get also?
Yeah.
I can't see that. I can't read it.
How to live.
Oh, yeah.
How to live when a loved one dies from Thich Nhat Hanh.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thank
beautiful.
you, Catherine. That was beautiful. How to live when a loved one dies.
Can I share what I posted in the Course in Miracle group? Do you mind if I share that?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, I'll just read what you wrote first and then. Just received this message from Lisa. Good morning, MLC friends. Rand completed this incarnation around 12 a.m. Eastern last night. Thank you for your prayers. Grateful for his kindness, his light, and his amazing courage. Blessings. I feel conflicted. I feel sad that he is gone, yet glad that his body is no longer feeling what we call pain, discomfort. But I am recognizing that that is just ego because there is only love. It is just showing up, and I am just naming it different names because it seems different. So I'm realizing that there is only love, but that is how perfect love is. It is unlimited.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carla. Would anybody else like to share anything about Rand or any feelings that they're having before we move on to our, and I think we'll just cover the one miracle principle today and do 48 next week.
Just one more thing, Linda and everybody. So I subscribe to Joel Goldsmith's streaming service, which is the best $10 I think I've ever spent per month. And they throw in a free session with his granddaughter, Sue Ropak. And I've had 2 sessions with her. And it's been amazing both times. But she told me when Joel Goldsmith died, their house got a phone call and the voice on the phone said, "Are you an adult?" And she was only 17. So she said no and passed the phone to her mom. And they were told about Joel's passing. And Sue Ropak, his granddaughter, who just adored him, just ran to her bedroom and started crying that he'd passed. And his voice came through loud and clear, "Nonsense." Which is very much like him. It's like, nonsense. And, and it was very, very clear to her that he was still there. He was still there with her. There was no disappearing of the spirit. And of course, Carol, you've had lots of experiences like that, but that was fun to hear about it.
Yeah.
I just, because you said that, it brought back a memory. I probably shared this in this group, but I remember an Oprah a few years ago, an Oprah program. I don't know if it was her son's Super Soul Sunday, but she was with Deepak Chopra. They had traveled to India together and they were having a conversation, and she said to him, "Where do we go when we pass?" And he said, "Nowhere, just exactly where they've always been." So while we were sharing, my thought was, well, probably right now, Rand is not with us because I think he's, there's no time where he is, but for my understanding of, he may be busy making that transition and adjusting to it, because I also remember Testimony of Light, and I shared that book with my daughter, who she just loves that book. She's reading it for like a second or a third time. Anyway, I thought to myself, Rand will be right back here in class with us. He won't be that far away, because, and I know Kathy understands this as well, he's not going to be in China. He's not going to be in the South Pacific. That's not where he lived his life. So we're going to continue to be with the people and souls and spirits we love. And I know my husband is with me pretty constantly these days. I just know it. And so I don't know if in these initial times he'll be doing other things, in this adjustment phase, but I believe eventually, and I don't know how long that'll be, he'll be with us, because if he was with us pretty regularly, he's going to be with us. And so I really do get the fact that it is God's will to not break the communication. It does not end unless we desire it to. We're the ones that would stop it. We're the ones that may block it, however we may do that. But if we have willing hearts that desire to keep the love connection, that relationship, we have that. And that is very much a part of the will of God. And so it's not woo-woo and it's not scary, it's real. And the more I understand about it, the better I feel about it, because it's very reassuring. I mean, I talk to my husband every day, I talk to my relatives. And it doesn't stop just because I don't actually hear a voice telling me something or answering me. I feel at peace in that attitude and that action and that behavior. And so I do it, I reinforce it, I live it. And it's wonderful. I mean, I don't know how long it'll go on, but I just take each day as it comes and hopefully gain wisdom as as I grow older. But I just wanted to share that he's right with us, or will be soon, because I think there is an initial period of just readjusting to the different levels of being. And so, but yes, he's right with us, or will be right with us. So I just wanted to pass that on because I know it's true.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Carol. Kathleen, I was just gonna see if you wanted to share anything about the transition you experienced this past week.
What transition?
Didn't you write that a neighbor or friend, maybe in your drumming circle, passed?
Well, if I did, I'm completely blanking on it right now.
That's okay. Just wanted to give you the space if you wanted.
Weird.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
If I remember, I'll say something.
Okay. All right. Carla, go ahead.
Okay. I know we talk about it. It's really a challenging concept to remember. There is only one. So it's not like one soul, there's only God, right? So it looks like this pen is just separate from me, right? But it's not. I'm this pen too. And I'll go into the miracle. Is that okay? You know, it's interesting. You said you're going to do Miracle 47 today. I didn't get past the third number 3 paragraph, whatever. I didn't get past it. So this is what I got stuck on. The second line, no, the third line. The sudden shift from horizontal to virtual perception, which the miracle entails, introduces it, and as it goes on for. And it also says in the third line, number 3, paragraph, whatever, the miracle is unstable. So I read that and I was just kind of like stopped or something. I don't know. So I wrote this poem. And it's interesting that, man, the mind the separate mind tells me, oh man, you share poems all the time. Why do you share, I just do it. The mind says what the mind says. The mind tells us to be guilty, to be sad, to be happy, whatever. It tells us also that, I just do what I do. It's only love anyhow. So this is my final one. So what is a miracle? It is not something here in time. It is everything, because there is only love. It is not just all learning, it is remembering truth, that there is only one truth, because there is only one. It is a shift of perception, a shift from horizontal perception to vertical perception. Remember, we can choose again at any time. We can choose to love or to move away from love in appearance, because there's our love. So what is the miracle? Seeing this. There appears to be more than one choice, but knowing, remembering, in each experience, before, during, after, whatever, there is only one love. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. It's funny because I circled that same paragraph 3. The miracle is unstable but perfectly consistent. That is, it does not occur predictably across time, and it rarely recurs in comparable forms, but within itself, it is perfectly consistent. Since it contains nothing but an acknowledgement of equality and worth, all parts are equal. And then in number 142, all parts refers to all examples of the phenomenon of miracles, all miracles. It helps to read the it in this sentence and the preceding two as the phenomenon of miracles. Thus, the phenomenon itself is unstable, occurring unpredictably and in every new form, but perfectly consistent in that all parts of it, all miracles, contain the same thing, nothing but an acknowledgement of equality and worth. And I feel like that's exactly what Carla was talking about with the pen. And that's exactly what is happening or has happened with Rand. Like the essence of him is perfectly consistent in every single one of us. It's just that his energy has gone from this horizontal plane to the vertical. And it's consistent. I feel like the only thing that is unstable about it is our perception of it. So yeah, there is no loss. There can be sadness though. It's okay. It's okay that I feel sad. You know, it just happened like 12 hours ago and we just found out maybe an hour ago, maybe not even quite. So, you know, the personality needs to adjust and that's okay. Yeah, 47. The miracle is a learning device which lessens the need for time. Nancy Gal.
I'd like to share something too. In one in the other one of the other group, the the other chat, the main chat for our community. It's like there was a. I'm not going to read that. Somebody was had asked for prayer, all right, and then a few days ago, and then the response, and so and it's like, okay, it's relevant. And so I wrote down, I said, hi, this is Nancy Go. I too appreciate the prayers and support of this community during the last couple of years during my cancer stuff. And then in parentheses, I said, oh, and I said, I kept the text you posted at the halfway point when I ended up in the hospital. Thank you. Then, years ago, I kept hearing the phrase, what goes around comes around. I knew it was true, but I didn't really understand what it was and why. Then I attended a church where I began to see both the giving and receiving. The giving, goes around, right? Now, living in this community, Power of Love community, well, where is it? Though still virtual for me, because I've never actually met any of you, right? I understand what it means. I know for sure from my experience here in my safe harbor, my safe haven, my safe place, what it really is. Now I get it. Light bulb, light bulb. It's oneness in action, love in action. It can't be anything else because we're all one, all connected in the invisible, if not the physical. What's the saying? Faith is the evidence of things not seen, or something like that. I can't remember the whole thing. In this community, we have lots of evidence. We prove it daily, moment by moment, bit by bit, prayer by prayer. We keep love going around and around and around. Gratitude, love, and blessings to everyone. Thank you. And it's like, and then when Carla was reading, where'd she go? And her face lit up. Did you see her face light up? And
Yeah.
it's like the love in the it's just, and then all of you, I could see it on all, hey Carla, on your faces. It's because we're all in the oneness, and that's why, and it's like, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful to what do you call it? To see that, to
Yeah.
learn that, and to be, it's like, so long I lived, in my bubble out and watching the world go by and watch everybody else. And it's like, now everybody's in here with me. Where we've always been. It's so beautiful. I'm so grateful for this community. So thank you.
Yeah, me too, Nancy Gill. Thank
And
you.
that's what the miracle is.
It is.
It's a definition is it's a shift from the ego world into God's world. That's what the miracle is. That's all it is. Just shifting. Just a shift in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. My friend.
Thanks, Nancy Girl. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I love it when Carla gets all mystical, and she's like transporting us to another dimension. You can do that anytime, Carla. So because we're recording, I sometimes feel like, oh, I'm not going to ask that question. It's too, But it's important. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and it's important to ask them. And I'm trying to get my mind around Rand and how I can stay in touch with him. And so Rand's body is in my mind, but Rand's spirit is still as connected as it always was.
Yes.
Right? How do I get my mind around that? It's just, sometimes it's challenging, and it's challenging for me today. How do I stay connected to Rand when he's not in his body, but he's still exactly where he always was the whole time?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel like it's actually easier because I know, like, when my parents passed, like, I could just have a thought about them, and that's the connection. And as soon as they would pop in my mind or something would remind me of them, I knew that was part of the conversation, whether there were words spoken or not. And so I feel like the essence of our loved ones that are no longer in this physical realm anymore are like, the particles of them are within each one of us. We may appear to be solid, but we are not.
Yeah.
We're just particles. We're just stardust. We're just stars and moons and suns. And so the particles that we are just expands into more love. Go ahead, Carol.
I'm just thinking of different things as you're speaking from my own learning experience. Ask, Gracie. You can ask your guides. You have guides, you have guardian angels. I don't know how many, at least one guardian angel, but you also have two guides. I was blessed by a dear friend who's very, very very spiritually sensitive, and she told me my guides' names. So I talked to them by name, and they are the people in your life. They are the beings in your life that help you the most on a daily basis, okay? And are consistently with you. You are their assignment. You are who they work with and for. And so you can ask them, how do I know when I'm with Rand, or how can I feel connected to Rand? Is there a way for me? And just ask questions. If there's no limit to the questions, and you yourself said there are no stupid questions. If it's in your heart to want to know, you'll be answered. Truly, you will. And so trust that, believe that you can communicate with Rand. With my husband, it's simple because he played Bob Dylan music consistently for since 1981 or two, like 40 something years. So if I go in my car, turn on the radio, and I hear a Dylan song, I know my husband's in the car with me. I just know it because the station that I listen to doesn't play Dylan all that frequently. And so, and yet then the messages in the songs, because Dylan was very prolific. He has a long discography of music. So depending on where I am, what I'm doing, and the message will be different for me than it will be for my daughter or one of my sons, because my relationship with him was totally different. And so, but again, it's a willingness. If we are willing to trust, to believe, to know that the communication does not stop, then whatever questions we ask, trust they'll be answered. They're not outlandish. They're not weird and strange and wrong. They're not. There is nothing that would be wrong. So go ahead and trust that you will find the answers, that it will be answered to you. There's no reason it wouldn't be, because what we're doing is promoting love in the communication of wanting to be with each other, wanting to understand and speak and communicate together, whether that other person is not with us in the flesh. And I remember, I think I said this before, but we were told that our family was told that when we're in the flesh, we can only be in one place at one time, that we understand. But when we transition and we are in the fifth dimension and no longer in our bodies, that's how we can be in more than one place at the same time with different people. That's how Jesus can channel a book and be somewhere else at the same time, giving a course in something or lessons or speaking, or that's perfectly understandable, and it makes sense to me. And so knowing that, I know my husband can be with one of my kids, helping them if they need help. And then he can be with me also. And so it's really quite lovely. But again, it takes our understanding, our faith, our trust, and our belief that it's real and true. And if we block it, well, then we're not going to receive it. But hopefully our willingness grows in time, and then it is easier. But I trust that you will be shown. If you have that desire in your heart, there's no reason you wouldn't find out.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Carol.
You're welcome, Lovey.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Sounds like the deep desire of your heart is to connect with Rand. And
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way that we can't connect. He's here with us. Go ahead, Carla.
It's interesting. Maybe I'm thinking right, man, that it's pretty much pretty consistent. The mind says not, don't do that. That's not helpful, but I'm doing it. So, when I was here, I was listening to everybody sharing, and someone came to the door, and David came and answered him, and they're talking, and it seems like in this world, there's many voices, there's many pieces of noise or whatever, but the body, it was very challenging for me at that moment to discern what's being said here from what was being shared there. But when we transcend the body, and I'm saying this because this is what comes to me, we can hear everything all the time because there isn't any one. How can we not hear? Because, and this is what I want to share, there's only one, so it's like we're all cells in the body of God, right? Each cell does something different. The skin cell does something different from the hair cell, and the eye cell, they all do for the blood cell, they all do for but they're all cells, but they have different functions, right? And sometimes they don't whatever do the function, but that's what we all are. We are all cells in the body of God. And we're all doing whatever function we're doing. So much.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. Anybody have anything else that they would like to share?
I was just thinking of what a nice tribute this is with everybody sharing, and I know that Rand would appreciate this and is appreciating it.
Yeah. You connected with him early on when you joined with us, didn't you, Deborah?
Yeah, I did. You introduced me to him. Just real kind of distance-wise, I touched base with him on Facebook and things like that. We had a couple communications.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good dude. And Christy, I don't know if you can talk. You might just be able to listen only, but if there's anything that you would like to contribute. And know that we're holding you in prayer as well. Alrighty. Alrighty. So I'm feeling called to close us out. So for next week, we will do 48, 49, and 50. And that will bring us to the end of this section. 49 is just a couple of paragraphs, and so is 50. So and then we'll be chapter 2. So, and if it starts to look like it's too much of a conversation, we might extend it again. Who knows? We're just going with the flow, flying by the seat of our pants, and it's okay. So I will share the insights, pathways of lights insights for today's lesson, which is 65. My only function is the one God gave me. Rand has definitely fulfilled his function and continuing to do so. This mindfulness practice today is one of the most important practices for me to continue. It helps me step out of automatic mode and pay attention to the thoughts that I am allowing into my mind. These thoughts are not forced upon me. They come by invitation, whether I recognize it or not. Dwelling on these thoughts or sitting in these thoughts only reinforces them. If I truly want to be aware of the function God has given me, I must recognize other goals as the barriers they are and be willing to hand them over to the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit shines the light of truth on them, they are seen as empty, meaningless thoughts. As these thoughts disappear, peace replaces them, quiet replaces them, awareness that love is all that is replaces them. Happiness that comes from the deepest place within me replaces them. Practicing the exercise in today's lesson brings to my attention how much I still need continued mind training. Thoughts of meaningless stories which replace my awareness of the function God gave me come up again and again. The practice of taking each of these thoughts into the Holy Spirit to be undone is a very important practice. My untrained mind still wants to make the story real. Thoughts repeating the past come up, and I am still attracted to believe in them. This practice is so powerful. I have deep gratitude that I have such a beautiful and simple means to awaken right here in my mind. There is nothing in the outside world that can give this to me or take it away. I am willing to stick with this practice, and gradually my willingness will expand day by day so that the function God gave me will be the only one I want and the only one I need. Mind training that heals my mind is, as Jesus suggests today, to sink deeply, deeply into the silence of my true being. The healing is beyond thoughts, beyond worries, in this place of deep quiet and deep peace. There I am. In this place I am renewed. And as I return to the world of perception, I bring that deep quiet, that deep calm, that deep peace with me. I am so blessed when I am willing to quiet my mind and enter into the stillness of my being. I know that as I follow the suggestion Jesus makes to state the lesson and move beyond all words, Jesus guides me as I sink deeply into the deep well of my true being. This deep peace and deep sense of calm, nurturing love feels more whole and more real to me each time I remember who I am. In the one mind, there is no need for healing or for doing. There is only my being, and I am whole. As I relate to today's idea, I clearly see in this life experience that all the goals I have invented for myself have one thing in common. They serve or attempt to serve to fill or fulfill anything I think is lacking within myself. Planning for my own salvation through a limited perspective can call for lots of struggle and pain in the whirlwind of this illusory experience. I forget what each moment is for. As I forget, I slip back into the bizarre idea that I am alone and need to save myself. I need to make plans for my future. I need to punish myself for the past. And I always need to make sure that I am not at peace in the present. Forgiveness is the doorway to happiness, the happiness which we are all trying to achieve. There is nothing unholy about wanting happiness and joy. It's just if we realize that we are not sustaining it in every moment, it might be helpful to accept that this is a result of setting goals about a business we don't understand. It's at this point that I can say, I'm grateful for a friend, one the Course refers to as the Holy Spirit, the expert advisor whose only goal is to share happiness with us, one who remembers in every moment that happiness is now and that we are happiness. The only thing that keeps us from sharing it is holding on to the limited ideas about ourselves. If we can accept that this is true, then it's a relief and a celebration that forgiveness is our only function. It's a relief to know that every moment or any moment need not be dedicated to planning my own salvation. So this means I am free each moment. I allow myself to live in this truth. My experiences aren't spent seeking that which fulfills me, but instead, all my moments are filled with joy simply because I am assured that joy is mine and mine to share. I can't make it happen because it already is happening. The question is, am I willing to be with it and trust it, to know it, to love it, and be certain that this way of life can be far more exciting than any of us together can possibly imagine? Yes, I am willing. As I watched my mind and the thoughts that paraded through it, I was struck by the sense that pervades this world, that the body is innately sinful and unacceptable as it is. The fashion, cosmetic, and toiletries industries represent a huge part of our economy. Great effort is spent to cover up, paint, decorate, reshape, and hide the body. Much of our time is either spent investing in these things, using them, or earning the money to get them. These are some of the goals that interfere with accepting the goal God gave us. The body is believed to be sinful only because we believe ourselves to be sinful and we identify with the body. It is the underlying belief that we have harmed God by separating from him that manifests as embarrassment about the body and its image. It's not the body that is the problem or needs to be fixed or covered up. It's the belief that we really separated from God that needs healing. That is why the function God gives us in this world is to forgive ourselves for what we did and did not do in truth, but believe we have done. This is how we save ourselves and save the world. This is how we accept our unity with God and receive his joy and his peace. This is how we give joy and peace to the world. I put myself in the hands of Holy Spirit today and let him guide my mind to see what is truly valuable and what is valueless because it is meaningless. He will guide me to the joy of fulfilling my only function. Thank you, everybody. I feel like Rand had a hand in that one too. So
Love you guys. Have a
love
great
you
day.
too.
Love
Bye.
you all. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, thank you so
Love.
much. Love you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Love you,
you.
Deborah.
Next week. Bye for now.